everyone. Good morning. We're almost close to the weekend, which means that we can chill, we can binge watch Netflix shows, or we can eat whatever we want to and spend time with our family, our loved ones, or our friends, or just go out for a party or a drink, which might be a bit hard because COVID is still here. But let's get back to our guest today. Today, we have someone with experience in talent acquisition with demonstrated history of working in the IT industry. Let's welcome Richa today. Hi, Richa. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, Minu. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to join you.
Of course. So, Richa, can you tell us about where you're currently working, what your position is, and how your experience has been so far?
Sure, Binil. I'm currently working with an healthcare IT organization called Cities Tech. I'm currently holding the position of manager talent acquisition there. And my journey has been into talent acquisition for the last 9 years. The initial few years were a combination of human resources and talent acquisition, and then I thought that my passion lies here. So that's what I've been pursuing for the last, I would say 6 7 years.
And what, as in, like, what got you into recruiting? Was it like the wantingness of wanting to like connect with humans? Did you think that you're really good at connecting with humans, or did you just like feel like you wanted to put your social skills to test? What was the reasoning behind you wanting to pursue a career in something like this?
So, Middle, it's an interesting story. I know, there would be very few in this world who would, as a child, dream to become, a human resource professional. And I was one of those odd ones. My uncle was a personnel manager, as they call it back in that day, right? And I am born and brought up in Bhilai, which is a city brought up by the steel plant. So everybody who hailed there worked in steel plant. And my uncle was a human resources manager there. And I just saw that everybody knew him. Pretty much everybody knew him. He was like a small celebrity there. He would walk on the roads and everybody would be, waving to him. And I was maybe 6 7 year old, and I asked him, why is it that everybody knows you? And he said that that's because of what I do. And I said, what do you do? And then he explained it to me the way you will explain it to a 7 year old. That's when I got to know human resources, and I thought this is what I want to do.
Wow. So the tables have turned, Richa. You're a celebrity yourself now, are you?
Not even being close to a celebrity, and I'm doing things which are very different than what he did back in that day, but at least that's where I got my inspiration, and that's how I've reached here.
Well, you're close to it. So I'm really happy that you actually managed to follow your dream and you got inspired at such a young age and actually decided that this is what you want. Because a lot of young kids, they're usually like, oh, I want to become an astronaut. Oh, I want to become an actress. I think when I was young, I wanted to become an actress myself. So to come
Interesting.
up with an idea like that, I think it's very admirable that you actually pursued a journey because at when you were 7 you figured out what you wanted, so that's very admirable, so thank you for sharing that.
I would say, Minil, I embraced a lot of changes through the road also. What my definition was and what my impression was of a human resource manager, because of the industry setup, right? I'm into information technology that did not exist in that day, and he was, into a manufacturing unit, into a huge manufacturing unit. So it was very different than what I envisioned it to be, but I think I embraced all the changes and I liked them.
I think it's all about life is all about embracing changes because you never know what happens in life. Yes, you can plan. Yes, you can say decide that okay, this might happen, but you never know what something might when something might happen, and you're just like, what just happened? So I think it's just being prepared for the worst and just embracing change one step at a time, which is something that we usually struggle with.
I agree.
So, Richa, can you tell us? Yeah. So, Richa, can you tell us about how the pandemic has affected your company? So, you've been into recruiting and talent acquisition for quite a while. So, because of your experience, I'd like to understand what are some of the hiring challenges that companies face when they're hiring individuals specifically.
The challenges have remained the same, Meenal, through the pandemic also. Um, I think a lot of organizations are doing what we call as outreach in terms of really looking for people who are in need. We know that there are people who are looking for opportunities, and there are people who are looking to you're looking for jobs to survive, right? So there are a lot of organizations who are doing a lot of outreach in terms of reaching out to these people. You would see LinkedIn has been a great platform wherein people are posting about the adversities that they're going through, and everybody is coming up and helping people in ways and means they can. So I think that has been different. uh, Challenges have remained the same. I would say there are industries which have taken a hit, but there are industries which have done very well in this time. So if we are able to,
Hmm.
if we are able to again embrace that change, and if we are able to shift mindset towards what we did not probably think we will end up doing, but the industry is going in that direction, and the job market is going in that direction. I think that will be helpful for all of us.
Yeah, that's true. Just going with the flow, that is very true. But can you maybe specify and elaborate on some of the challenges, like specifically in regards to when you, as a recruiter, are looking for people? What are some of the problems that you face when finding the right talent? For example, it could be something like not having access to the right candidates. If you do hire someone, they don't fit into the organization. What kind of problems do you usually face?
I think the problem is the biggest challenge is, and I think this is something that every recruiter is faced with, bridging the gap. Because when a hiring manager is making a job description, right, or he's envisioning a person, not necessarily that that person exists in this world. Right, we
Yeah.
in our world say that they're looking for a unicorn. They basically want that person to be everything, right? And none of us can be everything. So a lot of times you need to be a guide to your hiring manager, saying that I understand this is what you're looking for, but let's sit down and calibrate it and tweak it down to what is it that the world has, what is it that the market can give you. So there's a lot of you need to be a bridge between the reality and the expectations. I think that's a major challenge.
That's very true. And especially because like a lot of sometimes the hiring managers tend to have unrealistic expectations and they tend to reject a lot of candidates because they're like, no, someone else will come, someone better might come. And then they don't even realize that they might have lost someone that could have been an asset to the company. So that is definitely very insightful. So thank you for sharing that.
Sure.
So, Richa, one last question, which would be if there is one piece of advice that you could offer to people who would apply to your company where you currently work with, what is something that you would tell them to increase their chances of getting a job with your specific company? Considering you guys are hiring, I think you guys are. I'm pretty sure you guys are hiring. I did check. So,
Yeah.
what would be something that they should keep in mind?
So Meenal, I mean, I think I've had some experience in the IT industry, so I'll not specifically speak about one organization. I will speak in
Mhm.
general. Basically, I think you need to, if you're looking for a job change, first of all, you need to understand what is it that you're looking for. Try to not just actively go and apply to each job that presents itself on the job board, because from the other side, the hiring managers and recruiters put in a lot of thought in terms of what they're putting out there, right? So it's not generic in nature. It's very, very thought through. So I think the person who's applying should also think it through when you're applying to a specific job. That would increase your chances, and that would reduce your frustration of not getting calls, right? Keep yourself updated.
Yeah.
I think that's an important thing in this era. Keep yourself updated with whatever is there new in the sector that you are working in. That's important. And I think look for resources which are not very, very known. I mean, these days there are a lot of job boards which might be very specific to who you are. Like for there are a couple of job boards which are specific to women, right? Women hiring, diversity hiring is something which has become very important to a lot of organizations. So maybe if you're a woman, that's something that you can look at, because you probably are juggling with um, family responsibilities and work, right? So you might be able to match with an employer who understands that. There, I think there are organizations. Yeah, I think there are organizations who are looking at getting women back at work. There are a lot of women who take, kind of break because of several reasons known to us, right? So there are a lot of organizations who are running hiring channels just to get those people you know, back into the industry. So I think, look at things which are more specific in nature rather than, just going generic and feeling, disheartened about not landing into the right job.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing this. This is very insightful. Well, everyone, you've heard from Richa. Try not to be generic as possible. Every job application is thought through. Make sure that you're much more specific. Make sure you look for resources that are not known to everyone because you might get an upper hand there. And just like try to be yourself and make sure that you're actually applying for something that you're really passionate about. This is your host, Manal Bukhari, signing off. And thank you so much for joining us today,
Thank you
Richa.
so much, Mehul.